So I'll go ahead and get started. I was watching the sunset. For me, sunsets always mean that I made it through another day. So I'm always giving God thanks. And I was just thinking about this. Me and Maria were having a conversation just about life, just one of those conversations about life. And I just know, like, with everything that I went through in this last month, it changed me. Obviously in a good way, but it made me think differently or even more in depth about things that I already thought about. And so I want to just tell y'all this, man. Like, sometimes we make life a lot harder than what it truly is. And that's not to undermine anybody's struggle at all. Trust me. Like, life is tough for me right now. Life is hard. But at the same time, life is beautiful because I have a choice. I can choose what to focus on, in my life. I can choose to focus on something that doesn't help me, or I can choose to focus on something that heals me. And I always have that choice. That option is still there. No matter how hard it is to focus on the thing that brings me peace, the thing that brings me calmness to my soul, brings me joy, brings me a little bit of relief. No matter how hard it is to focus on that, I still have the choice to focus on that. But a lot of times what happens is that we tend to focus on the negative. We tend to focus on the things that bring us more hurt, that bring us more pain, that bring us more sorrow in our heart. And so I say all that to say this, man. The reason I said, like, I think we make life a lot harder than what it seems is that I think we value our self-worth off of the wrong stuff. Like, we live in a social media society, a social media world, and I've been a part of this world since 2006. So I've seen it progress. I've seen how it's produced a significance culture where everybody wants to feel significant online, and you're judged by likes, you're judged by how many people follow you, all these things. And we have literally programmed our self-worth on everything external. Everything external. We program our self-worth by what we wear, the job that we have, the status that the world gives us, how many followers we have, what people think of us. We literally program our self-worth by everything external. Like, think about that for a second. Think about it. And the reason why we feel so empty at times, the reason why we feel so lost at times, the reason why we feel like we're not enough at times is because the things that we think that we should have in our life are not adding up, right? All these external things. So if we don't have a certain job, then I'm not worthy enough. Or if I don't have a certain amount of money in my bank account, then I'm not rich, right? In my soul, right? That's the true wealth. Because it don't matter how many zeros you have behind your name if you have a hole in your soul. That's facts. Are we judged by how many people like us? And when we judge our life by that. Like, for me in this last month or so, I disconnected. And I got very clear, and y'all heard me say this before, I got very clear on what matters and who matters in my life. Very clear on what matters as I move forward, right? The legacy that I want to leave, because this is facts to anybody that's lost somebody in their life, somebody close to them, somebody special. And I've lost a lot of people in my life. Obviously, not as close as my mother and my grandmother, but y'all know rehab time started because one of my best friends committed suicide. So I understand loss a lot. I've lost a lot in my life. I lost a lot of people. And I don't like to use that word anymore because, as you know, I don't say loss anymore. I say I gained an angel, right? I gained a protector. I gained a spirit that's going to be with me forever. I truly believe that. But the thing that I've realized, and I'm losing my train of thought right now, what I was about to say. But the thing that I've realized is that at the end of the day, what matters to me, and everybody's different, by the way. I can't tell you how to live your life. But with me disconnecting and me stepping away from social media, it's like, what really brings the peace and joy, fulfillment, that's the word I'm looking for, to my soul. To my soul. Get very clear on that. Get very clear on that. My mom taught me, and I talked about this before, but her life showed me three things, man. My mom, even though she didn't know it, she was teaching me how to live in peace. She taught me three things. And I believe these three things are the triad to having peace in your life, to having fulfillment. If you really think about these three, I think these three things are what life is all about. Like, what life is all about. The first thing is, she taught me how to live in priority. right? Really focusing on the things that truly matter. Really focusing on the things that truly matter. Because a lot of us, what we do is we chase a lot of emptiness. We chase a lot of temporary highs. I was telling my son Tristan earlier today, I said, bro, don't live your life to chase. Because a lot of times we chasing after things that's not meant for our life. This world will give you the tools to destroy yourself. And sometimes those tools look beautiful. Sometimes those tools look like success. Sometimes those tools look like everything, the American dream. And you get these tools and you see yourself and you lose yourself. You know, some of my best prayers that were unanswered prayers. Me getting cut from the NFL was probably my best unanswered prayer because God was answering my prayer for protection. And a lot of us, we have that prayer for protection, right? God, protect me, protect me, protect me. And then we get angry at God when he doesn't give us what we want, not knowing that God didn't give us what we want. He knew that was what we didn't need, right? And I thank God for denying my desires. I thank God for that. Because maybe my desires led me to destruction. I know they did in my past. Right? I'm a human being, so we all have desires. We all want to do things and want to be things. And I'm not saying you're wrong for that because you're a human being. But sometimes your desires will lead you to destruction. Sometimes your desires will lead you to depression. Right? And sometimes those desires, I'm not talking about negative desires, but sometimes it's the positive desires. And I always think about this, man. When I don't get what I want and I ask God for, and my prayers have changed now. Now I'm just thanking God because I know now when I don't get what I want, I know it's God protecting me, not punishing me. I always think about God, me and God having a conversation and God telling me once I get to heaven, like, listen, the reason why I didn't allow you to be a star NFL player, look what would have happened. The reason why I allowed that relationship to fail, look what would have happened. The reason why I allowed those people to walk out of your life, look what would have happened. So while you became angry at me, I was still loving you. And so I know a lot of us, it's hard to digest that because we live in a world where our self-worth is so controlled around significance. It's so controlled around, this idea that we need more in our life to feel more in our soul. And I get it. Certain things feel good. I'm not telling you to live like a monk, right? I'm not telling you that. That's for you, that's for you. But I'm telling you, don't place your value on these things of the world, right? Don't place your value on it. If you have it, cool, but take it at face value. It's possessions. And the more we live in possessions, the more we wrap our self-worth around possessions instead of purpose, the less chance we have for our life to be compounded. You might say, Trent, what do you mean by that? You see, I'll just speak about my mother because I love to keep her alive. Her life was compounded after she died, residual. And it's because she lived in purpose, right? I talked about living in priority. She lived in purpose. And so when you live in purpose, when you leave this earth, your life is compounded because you have given so much of yourself to other people that you stay alive through them. By the lessons that you teach, by the helping hands that you did, by the people that you lift up, by the people that you had their back when everybody turned their back. But when you live in possessions and you wrap yourself around possessions, when you die, those possessions die too. And some of us, we live our whole entire life chasing possessions and not seeking purpose. Become the freaking magnet, man. When you work on yourself, you do that dark work and you depend on God, you build that relationship with God, your creator. Listen, you build that relationship with Christ, you become a magnet. For the last 10 years, I didn't have to chase these things. Y'all know that? I don't care about 12 million followers and all that stuff. I say that because I'm thankful for y'all, but I didn't chase that. I'm not losing my soul to gain anything. I'm not losing sleep. My kids and my wife love me. My friends, I get to spend time with my friends. I'm not so disconnected from everybody because I'm sitting here chasing. It's because I became a magnet. And those things found me, right? And so I want to share that, man. And before I get off of here today, I want to share something that I feel like is super powerful. And this is what I was going to share earlier. I forgot. But to everybody on here that's lost somebody, right? This is life. You probably have lost somebody. You might be losing somebody right now. Or you're going to lose somebody, right? That's just the thing about life. We all came to this earth. We all got to leave. Like my grandmother said, she warmed my heart when she said this about my mom. So I talked to my grandmother the Saturday before she passed, and she was helping me with my mom. And she said, your mom just beat us going where we all got to go. And I was like, you know what, Granny? You're right. We all do got to go. Somebody just beat us there faster. But I want to share this with you. When those before you, whether it be your parents, your grandparents, right? Somebody that you loved, that came before you, the generation before you, there's going to come a time that they're going to reach their finish line, right? They're going to have their day where it's their last day. And when they reach their finish line, when their job is done, when they've ran their race, they're going to hand that baton to you. It's like a track relay. You ever ran track before? 4x4, 4x1, 4x2? You have that baton. And they're going to cross that finish line, and they're going to give that baton to you. That baton is now in your hands. If you can put your hand over your heart, and you can feel a heartbeat, you got that baton. If you can inhale deep and exhale, you got that baton. If you're watching this live right now, you got that baton. Your parents have ran their race. My mother, she's ran her race. And I have a choice right now in this moment. I can allow the race that she ran to be in vain. Everything she sacrificed, everything that she did, everything that she stood for, everything that she hurt through, everything that she pushed through, everything that she grew through, everything that she prayed through, cried through, I can allow that to go in vain by not running my race. I can use that as a reason because I'm so heartbroken to not continue on my race. But the thing about life is this: the race doesn't stop. My mother and my father's still here. He's going to be here for a while. But my mother, I can tell you right now, she gave each and every one of her sons the lead on life. She ran her race. And when she gave us the baton, we had a lead on life. And as parents watching this right now, you got a duty, you got an obligation to give your kids the lead on life. So many parents in this world don't do that. And most adults have spent their whole entire life trying to recover from their childhood because their parents didn't run their damn race. They didn't run their race. They allowed distractions to get the best of them. They allowed excuses to get the best of them. They allowed hard times to get the best of them. And they stopped running their race. And the people who suffered from it wasn't them. It was the next person up. Because the next person up had to even run faster and harder than they had to run before. I don't know if you ever ran a relay before. But when that person, before you don't do their job, you got to get out your pace. You got to do things that you've never done before. And sometimes that hurts you even more. But my friend, you have the baton right now. And you have a choice. With your kids, if you don't have kids, with your community, with people around you, with your cousins, your nephews, your nieces, whoever is in your ecosystem of influence that you're influencing, you have a choice. You can do everything that you can and run your damn race to the best of your ability and give them the lead on life, or you can waste it. You can waste your race and set them behind. What are you going to do with the baton now that it's in your hands? But Trent, you don't understand. But Trent, this world don't care about buts. Because what? Guess what? The race is still going on. And this is something I had to tell myself, yes, I'm grieving. Yes, I've grieved. Yes. But when it switched for me, I realized that I can keep sitting here and allow my mother's work to be in vain. And I know my mom, that would be the last thing that she'll want me to do, because she was so proud of not just me in this, but my brothers, everybody. But I know when it came to me personally, what she was proud of, and it was this. So I could be like, man, and this thought went through my head, to be transparent with you. I thought about, like, after this last month when everything happened, like, man, I don't even want to do this no more. It crossed my mind for a split second. For a split second. But I thought about all that work that my grandma, my mom, my uncles, my grandparents, my ancestors, my great-great-great-grandparents that I don't even know, all the work that they did would go in vain. It would stop with me. And I stood up to look myself in the mirror, and I said, Trent, excuse my French, but I said, Trent, you better not let it stop with you. I'm not gonna say the other word. You better not let it stop with you. If you got to cry it out, scream it out, whatever you got to do, but you start focusing on what brings you joy, and you go run your damn race. Because you got some kids that depend on you. You got a community that's dependent on you. You got people that you don't even know that's dependent on you. So go run it. So I made that decision in my life. What you gonna do with yours? What you gonna do with yours? I'm concerned about when you look in the mirror and you say, listen, it all starts with me. Let's get it.